All praises to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Makar Kwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video reviewing the phrase or the term usual suspects, which is ultimately how people use it in this world, right? Is like wrong, right? But when you actually really look at what and listen to what they're saying, us Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, especially the so-called black man, especially the African American man, is the usual suspect, right? When something goes wrong in this world, the African American man in particular is the usual person that people suspect is at the root cause of what's to blame, when in actuality, in actual fact, right, the person that they should be blaming is the so-called white man, because he's in charge of the world right now. Right now, let's go straight to this. Job chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? The earth's in the hands of the wicked right now, and the wicked are the so-called white people. You can argue until you're blue in the face. You can argue till you're red in the face, right? Which would be the actual color that you are. You can argue as much as you want. When the lockdown came, nobody gave two bleeps about whether so-called black people said you cannot go in, you have to stay at home or not. It was so-called white people telling everyone stay in your house. It was them shutting down everything. It wasn't us. It was them that made the thing that they told you to take, and them telling you if you don't take it, you're not gonna work. It wasn't us doing it, man. In fact, we was the main people that they was trying to get to take it first. So which lets you know how low down on the totem pole we are. And there's power in admitting that you're at the bottom right now. But just because we're at the bottom right now, that don't mean we're always gonna be. Right? You can start at the bottom and then end up right at the top, man. The first shall be last, right? And the last shall be first. For many are called, but few are chosen, man. Now, when you make a society and a world that has a term like usual suspects, and they automatically blame a specific group of people or suspect a specific group of people all the time to be committing crimes, that ends up making a lot of other crimes that get committed go under the radar, right? And the man of sin, the men of sin, the nation of sin, the Edomites, who are really the problem, the root cause of most people's problems on the earth, right? They're really the most violent people on the earth, right? They've made nuclear missiles, they've made aircraft carriers, they've made fighter jets, helicopters with guns on them, tanks, grenades, rocket launchers, everything you can think of. That every single, even the same knives and Rambo knives and all this stuff that they complain about so-called black people having, them so-called black people never made those Rambo knives. And who was Rambo played by? In the movie, wasn't that a so-called white man? So y'all are talking all this Rambo knives and all the knife crime. The people that even made those knives, those crazy knives and swords in some cases, that you see these even so-called black people running around with, they never made those weapons though, did they? You made them. So at the root cause, you're there. Even the guns that you see these people have when they do their gun crime, they never made the guns. They don't make the bullets. They wouldn't know how to do it. They wouldn't know how to make a gun. You know how to make a gun though, don't you? They wouldn't know how to make a bullet, but you know how, don't you? These Pookie and Ray Rays in the hood wearing their pants down their waist, that you want to say, oh, another, want to record them and say, oh, another engineer, or it must be a doctor. You're not a doctor yourself. A lot of you people talking shit. You ain't a doctor, right? But we are the usual suspects, because usually you want to blame us for everything, even though you're the problem. So I don't care. I'm not offended by the usual suspects term. It's true that we are the usual suspects. You blame us for everything. And when you look it up in the stats, right? So-called black people are the most likely to be falsely accused of things in pretty much every single crime, because people suspect them all the time, right? When you like, here's one example that everyone can know as a so-called black man in this world. We all know. Security got you go into a store, The security guards minding their business. They might just be watching the pretty women going by shopping. You step into the store, now he starts tensing up, pushing up his shoulders. Now he wants to go on a damn grand tour of the store and maybe follow you around. Or he'll be trying to act like he ain't watching you, but he's really probably watching you on the CCTV camera. And now that might sound paranoid to some of these people that haven't had that happen to them. But as a person that's had that happen to them, this world does make us paranoid, man. Because when you are in a situation where people suspect you all the time, you're made to walk around feeling like you're a criminal when you're not even breaking the law. People are treating you like, I know he ain't doing nothing right now, but he's gonna be. So they're watching you. And in the moment you do make a mistake, like all people make a mistake in this world, they'll say, oh, see what I mean? I knew it. I knew it was a usual suspect situation. I knew it was a usual 13%. That's how they do. But let's go to this Psalm chapter 50 and verse 16. But unto the wicked Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee? So you Edomites can say usual suspects all you want. You've got the opportunity right now, and I've had it for centuries, to keep God's laws if you wanted to. You're not doing it. You're running your mouth saying that you're a Christian country in England, in America. You're saying it, but when it comes to actually keeping God's laws, you're casting them words behind you. Your main grievance right now in the UK, for example, is immigrants are coming over, and they're wearing these hijabs, and mate, wouldn't you want your woman when she's walking down the street to be covered up? Instead of having her leg out, her whole batty crease hanging out, her tits hanging out, and everyone just lusting after her. Wouldn't it be a better alternative for your woman to be covered up? But you suckers will say, nah, she should be able to do what she wants to do. But then when she gets caught on her knees for some next guy, right? Now you want to try and start getting sour. But you Edomites are such demons, you actually don't mind your woman doing that, as long as you get to watch. Because you're sick in the head. Right? You're sick in the head, man. You devils are not right, man. And you always try and come with this usual suspect stuff, but you're the criminal though, for real. We're the ones that are usually, we are the ones that are usually suspected. We're the usual person, the most common person that's suspected of doing a crime, but we are not the main criminal. You are. We're the usual suspect, but you're the actual criminal. Because at the root of when people are complaining about the rent price being up too high, it's not because of no roadman with a Rambo knife that the rent price is too high. When people are complaining about the food price going up, that's not because of no roadman. When people are complaining about when people are complaining about how women are acting these days, that ain't got nothing to do with that neither. When people are complaining about divorce laws, that ain't got nothing to do with no roadman. That ain't got nothing to do with no immigrant. It's got something to do with a suit and tie wearing devil. Yeah, a suit and tie wearing so-called white man with a Queen's English sounding voice. Well, that particular question is it's not as straightforward as that. Shut up, man. You're a devil, bro. I don't care how smooth your words are. You're a demon and you worship Baphomet, you devil. That's the truth of the matter. But you people will think if someone going, fam, that he's worse off than someone speaking to you in the most eloquent way. But what he's saying is devil speech. So he's talking Queen's English, but he's speaking Satan's tongue to you. What he's saying is wicked as all hell. But the way I was saying it sounds nice though. Oh, it's got such great vocabulary. The way how he's explaining how he's going to destroy the whole earth. The vocabulary he's using, it's like poetry, mate. Oh, it's beautiful. So he's saying that humans are the problem and that we need to depopulate the earth. But the way how he's saying it is gorgeous, mate. But what is he saying though? You stupid idiots. Verse 18, when thou sawest the thief, then thou consentest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers, thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, Thou slanderous thine own mother's son. Oh, they're the usual suspect. Our usual suspects. Oh, yeah, we are the usual suspect. People would rather always blame us for the problems. The amount of things that we've been blamed on. You people act like if we just left the earth, that nobody would ever do anything wrong again. If every single so-called black man died or left the earth in general, went to another complete place of the earth in their own by themselves, that the world would just be a utopia where so-called white people only are. Yeah, right, man. Yeah, right. And I was watching this movie that's came out recently called Eden, right? And it's based on a true story. And when I was watching this movie, I was just like, yeah, man, this is exactly how these Edomites are. They're just evil and wicked. They steal from each other. They're conniving. They lie. They're thieves. They bully each other. They try and use their might to bully each other, to bully everyone else. Like that movie was a perfect example of how these Edomites are at a small scale and how they do the same thing at a small scale on a much larger scale, man. And now they want to talk about immigration and talk about get them out, mate, and all of this, right? But mate, who made you the authority on deciding who should or shouldn't be somewhere? Because the same people that complain about immigration that coming over to the UK, they love America. But America was the result of the same type of immigration that you've got a problem with. So if the people coming over here illegally should leave, well, okay, was how America was gained. Was that legal or illegal? And then if we're going to say it's legal, based on who? And the truth of the matter is based on who's got the power to kill the other person. That's what the truth of the matter is. Oh, I've got more strength than you, so I'm deciding what's legal or not. And this is how the wicked think. Let's go straight to it, man. Let's go to it. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and verse 11, right? But let's start at verse 1. For the ungodly said reasoning with themselves, but not aright. So they think these kind of thought process, but they're wrong though. Our life is short and tedious, and in the strength and in the death of a man, there is no remedy, which in the death of the man, there is a remedy. And the remedy to death is to keep all of the laws of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So there is a remedy to death, right? The wages of sin is death. If you don't sin, you'll live forever. But in Esau's mind, he's not trying to make and use all of his technological advancements to figure out a way to be able to keep all of Yahweh's laws. He's trying to use his technology to think of a way how to be as wicked as he wants to be and still be alive. Because they know that in a world where sin became a thing that people emulate, that the Israelites would copy it as well. And then in that, the Israelites now would end up becoming immortal and they'd end up being on their blessings, which the top blessing of the Israelites is that they end up above every other nation. So of course Esau's never going to try, and he can't. They understand what the game of this on this earth is. The Israelites keeping all the laws. It doesn't matter whether anyone else keeps them or not. Or even if everybody else did keep them, in a world where the Israelites are keeping all the laws, regardless of everyone else keeping them all the laws or not, the Israelites end up at the top nation on the earth. This is the fact. Right? When you look at the Bible and you understand the covenant that Yahweh gave to the Israelites, in a world where the Israelites are keeping the laws, and even in a situation where every other nation's keeping them or not, the Israelites end up above every other nation on earth. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. Now, alternatively to that, in a world and in a situation where every person is sinning, like we live in right now, the Israelites end up below everyone else because they was a nation that was given the laws, and the law benefits them more than it benefits anybody else. And in the very soon future, man, right? Let's do, now nobody send for me on this, man. But I'm going to say this, in a century from now, we will have been in the kingdom. I don't see no way how a century from now, we could not have already have spent a couple of decades, a few decades in the kingdom, man. A century from now, decades will have been spent in the kingdom of heaven. That's what I believe. Decades will have been spent, damn near a century would have already been spent a century from now in the kingdom. Decades for damn sure will have been spent in the kingdom. The kingdom of heaven will be decades old. 100 years from now. The kingdom of heaven will be decades old. whether that be 9 decades, 9.5 decades, but it will be decades old, the kingdom of heaven will. There ain't much more that these devils can do. There ain't much more that these Idumeans can do than what the world is already as wicked as it is right now. The women are bogged out. The women literally don't know anything, really. They don't know nothing, man. They just all think that they literally all think that they're a 10. And you'll think to yourself, have you got a mirror in your house? Right? But anyway, forget these women for a second. Let's get on you Edomites. Verse 11. Let our strength be the law of justice. For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. So they don't care about whether what way they're doing immigration. Because the way how they see it is, well, okay, you're saying that the way I did immigration is wrong. What you gonna do about it? I'm saying the way how you did immigration is wrong. And now ask me what I'm gonna do about it. And I'll show you what I'm gonna do about it, boy. That's how they think. Or what am I gonna do about it? Well, you see all these tanks and aircraft carriers. That's what I'm going to do about it. And their plan right now is to try and bait people into the type of battle that they want, right? They don't want a battle on words and speaking moral and a battle of the scriptures, because all these Edomites claim they're Christians, right? You ever seen any of them pull out the scriptures to explain why this immigration stuff's wrong? Or do they speak it according to their own devil ways and their so-called laws that change on a regular basis, man? They do it based off that, right? They do it based off that. Now, let's go to, because I've got some more scriptures down here as well. Yeah, let's go to this, man, the editions of Esther. Because they come with all this usual suspect stuff, and they try and blame the Israelites for everything wrong, right? But they've did it before. Haman did this already. And I was reading it a couple of days ago, man. When I was thinking about doing this lesson. This is editions of Esther, chapter 16 and verse 6. Beguiling with the falsehood and deceit of their lewd disposition, the innocency and goodness of princes. Now you may see this, as we have declared, not so much by ancient histories as ye may. So what's going to be said here, when you're reviewing these Edomites, you can see in the past as well, if you was to look and see how they blame everyone else, and call everyone else the problem, right? You can see it in the past, but you don't need to go back to the past, because you can look at what's happening right now. This was the truth at this time when it was said, and it's the truth now as well. If you, as ye may, right? Now you may, verse 7, now you may see this, as we have declared, not so much by ancient histories, as ye may, meaning you can see it by ancient histories if you look. If ye search what have been done if ye search what hath been wickedly done of late, through the pestilent behavior of them that are unworthily placed in authority. And that's you Edomites, man. And this is what's being spoken of right now. This was about Haman. You can look, if you look at what's happened, what these wicked demons are doing right now, that have been unworthily placed in power. They've only been placed in power right now so that Yahweh can show this is how you don't rule. And when people witness the difference between how Israelites rule and how Esau rules, mate, they're not going to even, when certain people of their own nation start getting annoyed in the kingdom of heaven and want to think, man, we should be in charge, they're going to say, yo, sit your Ishmaelite ass down, man. Yo, sit your Hamite ass down, man. Shut up, man. Your granddad was saying the same thing a couple of years ago and he got mashed up, man. You sit down, man. I'm snitching. They're not going to want you to rule. Your own heathen nations are not going to want you to rule. They're going to know it's better with the Israelites. They're going to be like, well, you're saying that you want to rule, right? Nebuchadnezzar, you've came back in the reincarnation, you're still trying to think you're going to rule, right? But if someone committed adultery under the kingdom that you're saying, you'll tell me, get over it. But the Israelites don't allow that to happen. And the Israelites allow me as a man to have multiple wives. But you're saying that I'm not supposed to do that. You've got a problem with that. So I prefer the Israelites' kingdom than your kingdom. If someone steals from me under the Israelites' rulership, then they have to pay back sevenfold. But under your system, if they can, it's about who's survival of the fittest, according to what you're saying, according to the rules that you've got. Where are your laws and how you're going to rule your kingdom? Well, you see the thing, brother. And then they're going to try and give their stupid way that they think. And they're going to get snitched on. And the person that's trying to think they can slither away. He's going to get judged according to the laws of the Heavenly Father. Now, all you so-called Edomite Christians out there that got a problem with that, well, you're saying you're about the Bible, right? But how many of the Bible laws are you keeping? In fact, what's the date right now, man? We're on the 28th, yeah? We're on the 28th right now. You Edomites are going to be celebrating Halloween in 3 days. The ones that claim they're Christians. You women are going to be dressed up like complete tarts, right? Slutty vampires, slutty nurse, slutty fairy, right? Everything, no matter what the outfit, it's going to have a miniskirt on, right? And then you're going to be making out like that's somehow something righteous, and you're going to say you're Christian tomorrow, the next day afterwards. But you're dressing up like demons, and the same things that you're dressing up with, you wouldn't want to see. The same characters that you're dressing up with and that you're fascinated by, if them types of people in them movies that you're trying to get frights from showed up at your door, you wouldn't want them there. But anyway, verse 8, and we must take care for the time to come that our kingdom may be quiet and peaceful and peaceable for all men, both by changing our purposes and always judging things that are evident with more equal proceeding. And that's what people need to do in this society. Fuck keep saying that we're the usual suspects, right? Really look and examine and see if we actually are the people that should be the usual suspects. And just because someone's a suspect doesn't mean they did anything wrong. But this society and this world's going to get ready to realize what it's like. Everyone's going to be a suspect, man. Starting with us first, because Jacob's trouble's coming. And we're used to being a suspect anyway. But the time's coming where everyone's going to be suspected. And all you people that are running around so much, whining about where everyone's from. Where are you from, mate? Where are you from? Oh, well, I'm clearly born here. How do I know you're not from Russia? How do I know you're not from Poland? Oh, you didn't think that far ahead, did you, dummy? So now you're going to need that digital ID. Yeah, you're going to need one. And then they're going to figure out what else you've been up to, man. And they're going to be all up in your framework, scumbag. Right? They're going to be all up in yourself. You wanted to be all up in people's business, interrogating people that you don't know, questioning them. Well, you're going to get questioned, man. You're going to get scanned through the system. Beep. Oh, well, it says here that you've not really registered. You're under arrest. Just like how when the lockdown came, you people was bugging out over having to wear a mask on the train and all that. Getting hemmed up, man. Arms folded up. Getting your hand pressed against you. And your hand pushed behind your back. And then they start driving your hand up to your back of your neck, man. Using them Krav Maga moves on you. Yeah, them new police techniques, man, where they fold your ass up, man. You everyday civilians got all this to say. You're gonna be up next, man. And that's what's gonna set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, because they're gonna be like, no, I'm not accepting this. Just like how, imagine us as Israelites, right? If every single time that the oppressor came through, the oppressor looked like us, we'd fight back. We'd feel more bold. You feel more bold to fight back when it's your own people, man. Whereas when it's another person, it's completely different. It's a completely different thing, because you get more offended when it's your own person trying to come at you sideways. Really, you feel more like, mate, me and you are more equal. That's how it goes, man. Because us and Esau are not equal. We're better than them, and that's why they've had to try for all these years so many different techniques to try and keep us down, and yet we're still above them, man. We're still above them, really. When things are equal, right? We always are better. Now, an Edomite or a heathen that's way bigger than an Israelite can beat them up or something like that, maybe. But really, an Israelite that's significantly smaller than one of these heathens will still be stronger. But if you take the best Israelite and the best Edomite, the Israelite wins, man. Now, Tom Aspinall was fighting Cyril Gahn a couple of days ago, and I don't believe that Tom Aspinall was an Edomite anyway. But for the purpose of this, you Edomites believe that he's one of you, right? But he was getting clapped up in that fight, man. He was getting bopped up in his mouth, man. His nose was all leaking all over the place, right? And then he got hit with an accidental eye poke. But he was getting dusted off in that fight, man. Now maybe he might have came back and won, but he was losing. As that fight was, he was losing that fight. And here's another thing. This is kind of a bit off topic, but you Edomites as well, man. You Edomites put a hell of a lot of pressure on the people that you believe in, man. Right? Over the years, you Edomites have always put in pressure on all your great white hope, your great so-called white hopes that you set up. And then they almost always get smoked. Conor McGregor was one of them, right? He got completely dusted off by Mayweather. And then he lost his mind when he fought Khabib. He absolutely lost his mind since he got smoked by Khabib. Khabib was all whispering in his ear while he's strangling him to death. Come, let's talk now and all that, right? He absolutely smoked him. But if Khabib wouldn't have said that he wouldn't have been on the Muslim thing, y'all would have liked him rather than Conor McGregor, man. And then you had Tyson Fury. And then when Tyson Fury was fighting Alexander Usyk, y'all threw him under the bus and left him, and he got smoked, right? So now y'all are on the bandwagon for Usyk, but if he ends up losing, which every man can lose, y'all are throwing him under the bus. Y'all was all kissing old Mr. 47's ass, but he's threw y'all under the bus. And then now y'all are so dumb and got such cognitive dissonance. What you don't understand. This is all part of a bigger, greater process. No, man. That's the best. Yeah, yo, I remember saying way back a time ago, man, when this guy was president the first time, I said that Mr. 47, which he wouldn't have been Mr. 47 then, I think he was Mr. 45. I said, he's the Edomite man's Yahweh Shai. That's their version of Yahweh Shai, man. That's the best they can do. Him, this stupid orange-faced idiot, right, that don't give two shits about none of them. That's the best they can do. What Yahweh Shai cares about us as Israelites. He died for all of us. He even died for the wicked-ass Israelites that betrayed him. Our Messiah actually cares about us. Their Messiahs that they try and set up over themselves, they don't give two nothings about them, man. And they'll play along with all these user suspects. Oh yeah, they're the main ones getting all the EBT when they've got the stats. They know the information. You see these black people? They're the usual suspects. They're the ones getting all the EBT. You know what? Yeah, tell us what, Mr. 47. We should just get rid of all of it. Yeah, get rid of all of it. And then you dummies don't even understand that includes your portion as well. Y'all are thinking, yeah, get rid of all of it. Wink, wink. Yeah, get rid of all of it, but not our portion. Wink, wink. Yeah. Not ours though, innit? Yeah, get rid of all of it. Wink, wink. And they're like, yeah, wink, wink. Really? We're really getting rid of all of it. Your portion too. Ain't no wink, wink round here, bro. All of it. So then now they're like suckers. We got rid of them Jakes that was getting it, but we also got rid of our own Edomite brothers portion as well. That's an extra 5 million we can use for the annual witchcraft party that we're gonna throw, man. That's an extra few blood drinks that we're gonna drink now. And you dummies don't understand, man. You low-level Edomites actually really think you're in the group, man. You're nothing. You went in our group as Israelites, and you went in their group. They know what the real yo, I'm telling y'all about yourself. They know the real it's really. They know behind the curtain, we're Edomites. They all know we're Edomites. These Israelites, we can't allow them to be in power. We're all Edomites. Fuck all that white people stuff that they're talking about. We're Edomites really. And we need to do the Edomite thing. The Edomite way is we can never allow these Israelites to rule ever. And I don't care if we have to throw any of these so-called people that want to steal, these dummies that want to be on that so-called white people thing. They still actually believe that, the idiots. Yeah, let them believe all that white people stuff. Right? We know the real deal. We're Edomites. Let them keep believing all that white people stuff. We'll throw all of them under the bus as well. If it means that just us, few choice families, get to have the kingdom that we want, and if we have to throw all of them under the bus, fuck them. We want the kingdom, fuck them. It was our forefathers hundreds of years ago that started off all this Baphomet stuff. Right? That's how they think. Satan came to our forefathers all them years ago. He never came to their forefathers. They're not the ones that led the way to make us be how we are now. So they should be grateful that they even got what they got now. That's the kind of way they talk about you low-level devils, and don't think that you can try and come with none of that. It's not us, it's the elites. No, you ain't getting a win with them, and you for damn sure ain't getting a win with us neither. We don't want you, and they don't want you. And that kind of realization is what's going to make there be sedition among men and invading one another, them not regarding their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions standing in their power. Because you Edomites are starting to realize that we're right about these things, man. Now, I ain't got 100% proof that they talk like this about you, but they're blatantly disrespecting you in your own face. Oh, we're going to do a tariff. We're going to do a tariff. But don't the citizens have to pay the tariff? No, the citizens don't have to pay the tariff. So why is everything going up prices then? Since the lockdown, right, the prices of items went off. Items that used to be £1 are now £2.40. That's 140% increase, in case you don't know, right? I ain't the best at maths, but I know that. An item that's £1 and then goes up to £2, that's 100% increase. 10% of £1 will be 10 pence. So that's 140%. So now you're paying 2.4 times more for the same item. And the item might have shrunk. So you're getting kicked in the ass in one side, and then Ricky Hatton body shotted in the other side, man. Right? Because you're getting a smaller item for a larger price, but they want to talk about some usual suspects about us. Oh, it's a usual suspects. Oh, here we go again. Mate, how about it's a usual suspects with who's ruining the whole earth all the time, man? Because the Esau doesn't get a usual suspect, stigma on him, even for things that he usually does. Right? Now, there are certain crimes when you hear them, you're like, okay, that's more than likely going to be exactly who I think it is. And you're right, you'll be right when you think that. But the things that Esau actually does all the time, he don't get that on him. But let me carry on reading this, man. Verse 10. For Haman, a Macedonian, the son of Amadatha, being indeed a stranger from Persian blood, because he wasn't a Persian, he was an Edomite, and far distant from our goodness, as a stranger received of us, had so far obtained a favor that we showed toward every nation, as that he was called our father and was continually honored of all the next person unto the king, because he got given a high rank when you read the book of Esther, right? But he, not bearing his great dignity, went about to deprive us of our kingdom and life, because that's what his plan was. Haman's plan was to take the Persian kingdom away from them and give it unto his people. Verse 13, having by manifold and cunning deceit sought of us the destruction, as well of Mordecai, right? Who saved our life, because Mordecai saved Xerxes from an assassination attempt, when you read that story, and continually procured our good, as also blameless Esther, partaker of our kingdom, with their whole nation. Now, when you read the story, what Haman was doing was trying to set up a kind of usual suspects thing. He was writing letters. Oh, there's a certain people scattered among all the provinces of your kingdom, and their ways of another fashion, and it's not profitable for you to have these people in your kingdom, because they're going to destroy your kingdom. But it was him that was trying to destroy the kingdom, though. But he was trying to put the blame on the Israelites, while he was actually the one that was really trying to take the kingdom away. The damn demon. And there's people on this earth right now that are in the spirit of Haman, if they're not Haman himself. A certain shades and Kangol wearer, a cap wearing, lasagna eating devil that goes around traveling on planes to harass men that don't have a mega church or a church in general, that be on corners, and somehow finding them where they are. That's stalker behavior, if you ask me. But hey, what do we know in it? We're just the usual suspects, right? What do we know about life, innit? Maybe we need these so-called high IQ people that in all their high IQ haven't figured out that you can't defeat God. Verse 15. In fact, verse 14. For by these means he fought, finding us destitute of friends, to have translated the kingdom of the Persians to the Macedonians. And that's what he was doing. But he was trying to accuse the Israelites of doing that, though. And when it's all said and done, and you people end up having to look yourself in the mirror and realize that you was trying to keep the best rulers down, you're going to be ashamed, man. There's going to come a time where you people are going to have to look back and be like, man, we was thinking that we was thinking that these are the worst, would be the worst possible people to ever rule. But then look, they're the best. And even when you look at certain things like the red pill community, you people know that we're the best to rule, because you people will ask a so-called black man advice on how to get women. What the fuck are you asking us for advice for? Shouldn't you know? You're the so-called high IQ man. You should know the best ways to get women. What the hell are you going up and asking so-called black men for? How come so-called black men know so much about how to get women to the point where you man are trying to pay thousands of dollars for an hour interview with them, an hour call with them, right? Why don't you know? You're meant to be the ruler. You're meant to be the top and the smartest, right? How comes they figured it out but you can't? How comes a Jake with biceps and a string vest, or a normal vest, or so-called wife beater vest, and a bucket hat and brown Timbs and jeans, how comes he can get women through doing 50 tricep dips in a row, but you eat him out with your high IQ in a suit and tie? He's struggling. Why aren't you figured out, get some bigger biceps and the woman's gonna go wild then? Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing a fitness plan? Why aren't you doing 50 tricep dips and going, yo, this is easy. Why aren't you figured out that? Why did they have to figure that out for you, and then now you copy it? If you're so smart as you think you are. Why did so-called black men realize, you know what? If I take this basketball, these guys are shooting from bare far, and that's worth 2 points. If when you're in this semicircle, it's all worth 2 points anyway. But when you're outside of that semicircle, it's worth 3 points. But if I'm going to be inside the semicircle and it's worth 3 points, I've understood the rules. Why don't I just go right up to the hoop, right underneath it, jump in the air, and slam the ball down in the hole and call it a slam dunk? That's easier than doing all this layup and shooting from mid-range. What's the point of that? When I know that I've got the skills to dribble through there and put the ball in there, why don't I just do that? Like, why not? That makes more sense to me. Now, I was watching a video a couple of days ago with Terence Crawford, and he was in Japan, and he was doing some like samurai training with another group of loads of other different people in there. And like, I was just watching how he was doing things. I was like, raw, this guy's picking this stuff up quick, man. And then he did one move where he span the blade around the training blade, he span it around and that, and pull it back into the holster or the sheath, right? And I was like, raw, this guy just picked that up quick. And then he started reverting and like not doing it as good as he knew he could do. But he did that. First, he did some good trick and put the thing back in the sheath, and then he started easing off and like being like, man, I don't want to do too much. And then the person that was at the front training them ended up having a little sparring practice with Terence Crawford, the person that was coaching the whole thing, right? The sensei, if you want to call it that. And Terence Crawford beat him. He literally smacked the guy in the leg with the rubber sword things that they had and made him drop on the floor, man. And he's never did that before. Now, you might say, oh, but he's a boxer. So, of course, mate, boxing and sword fighting is not the same. Somewhat, I guess, the stances could be transferable. And when Terence Crawford was holding the rubber sword thing that they was using, he used more of a fencing stance, which is more similar to a boxing stance, right? The in and out footwork. But he should not have won, really. But he came up just because of being an Israelite. He understood a better way on how to fight, man, and won. Right? He won. Now, some people say, oh, but that's just physical stuff, innit? Physical things require your brain to understand the mechanics of the body. We've all got the same body, right? Supposedly. We've all got arms and legs, right? But why is it that so-called black people can do so much more with their arms and legs than anyone else? Why is it that our arms and legs that we can figure out how to do them, to do all the things that we can do, man? Why is it that dancing, the standard of who can and can't dance, is based off of a so-called black man's dancing skills? I've never been one of these people that do this, right? But when you go to those work parties, right? When you go to those work parties, the Jake man, whoever the Jake man at that party is, basically has a line of women that are all prepared, waiting their turn to have a dance with him, man. And then the Edomite men start hating, saying stupid things like, "Oh, I never knew you could dance like 50 Cent." When the fuck's 50 Cent ever been known for dancing, dummy? And excuse the language, but fuck these devils, man. Right? They'll just start saying some stupid stuff. "Oh, I never knew you could dance like Lenny Kravitz." What are you on about, bro? What are you talking about? You're just hating because you can't use, if when you try and move your arms and legs that way, it looks like you're having a seizure and people start putting the defibrillators out. But when that Jake man starts doing it, for some reason the women start going, "Ooh, we got one," and they start doing their little whack ass Edomite off the beat click dance. You know what I mean? But when you try it, it don't work that way. And if you Edomites were to be real with yourself, you've been in front of the mirror, tried to dance like an Israelite, realized you can't, and threw things at your mirror and broke it. And then your wife comes home, "Babe, what happened? Have you been trying to dance like an Israelite again?" "Yeah, I tried, honey. It didn't work." "Wait, why does it work when they do it for? You Edomites have always tried it, man. Some of you Edomites, right, that now want to think that y'all are Bible scholars, you tried rap and you trash, right? Aren't you? You tried to be rappers, but there's brothers in the truth that can rap way better than you, and you never heard their bars, man. But you really thought you was a rapper, and you was dead, mate. Absolutely whack as hell. But there's Israelites that, well, hey, yeah, there's Israelites that can rap better than you. That Deacon guy, he can rap better than that waste man, Rich Malone, man. He can rap way better than him. Right? Now, it's not about rapping, but he can rap way better than him. Like, significantly better. Significantly. And why is that? Because he's an Israelite. And Vocab is not one. Right? He's just not one, man. He ain't got it like that. And you Edomites are jealous. And that's why you come up with things to try and smear our name. "Oh, I use your suspects and I use your 13%. I use your 13%. Mate, use your suspects does not mean that that's the people that are committing all the crimes. That means that's who you're suspecting. Because you've made a world where you paint us as the criminal, but you are. Right? You're the criminal, man. You're the criminal. I've worked in a retail, like a supermarket thing and that when I'm a teenager and that, right? And the people that I used to see stealing the most was you so-called white people of all different types, stealing 50-pound bars of champagne, stealing steak, stealing things, stealing alcohol. Staff members there was such alcoholics, right? That they was drinking alcohol and falling asleep in the aisle, bruh. Do you understand? Falling asleep in the aisle. Someone put them on their booze, right? They're drinking their life away, and everyone gets told to go on their break, and everyone's like, "Oh, where's Alan?" Or whatever their name would have been. The person, I don't remember their name. "Oh, where's Alan?" "I haven't seen him." Someone go down and go and have a check on him and let him know his brakes on. He's asleep. No, he's not asleep. He's drunk. He passed out, opened one of the vodkas and splammed it down, man. Alcoholic devil. But it's where the usual suspects though, right? Yeah, okay. You're right. The wicked ass things that people do in this world is a reflection of who's in charge. Right? It's a reflection of who's in charge, man. Because if you really are against all of these things taking place, make them illegal and make the punishment vast and watch how the people change. But what happens in this world is things that are biblically righteous are made illegal. Oh, you've got more than one wife, you're a bigamist. No, he's not bigamist. He's big in the game and he's living like how he's supposed to live. But then they'll make you have a world where you're not allowed more than one wife. And then now the woman's allowed to do whatever she wants to do, though. You're not allowed more. Listen to this world, man. A man's not allowed more than one wife, right? But a woman's allowed to sleep with 1,057 men in 12 hours if you're to believe that she did that. So a man can't have more than one wife, but 1,057 men can all make a line, right? That line is long, like, yeah, when you actually consider how long of a line that would be, it's disgusting. If you've ever went to Drayton Manor, Alton Towers, right, Legoland, American Adventure Parks, Fort Park, any kind of theme park, you wouldn't see a line of 1,057 people. So that harlot had a line bigger than a theme park. She had a line bigger than the queues in Primark, bruh. She had a line bigger than she had a line bigger than what you see people queuing up to get into a damn rave. So, but that's legal, though, isn't it? It's legal for 1,057 men to all deal with that one woman. That's legal, right? And she's able to make money from talking about that. But then it's not legal for one man to just be like, you know what, I'm gonna be with these two women for the rest of our lives, and we're just gonna build a life together. No, he's wrong for that, innit? He's wicked. But a woman sleeping with 1,057 men in 12 hours. You can't even watch the whole of Game of Thrones in 12 hours. But she got plammed in by that amount of men, by 1,050. There's probably not even 1,057 different men in the whole of Game of Thrones, including extras. But according to, if you believe that that's as it is, that's what that woman did. And that's okay to do, right? But then y'all want to talk about some usual suspects. Like the so-called black woman, she's a demon right now, but she ain't did that though. And y'all will mock a hijab, but then the women of your nation are doing that. But then somehow the so-called white woman gets to such a high rep in the world when she's actually a hoe. Let's be real, man. She's a hoe too. Let's just be real in life. Let's sing it real out here, man. But let's carry on anyway. Verse 15. But we find that the Jews, whom this wicked wretch have delivered to utter destruction, are no evildoers, but live by most just laws. And that's what people are getting ready to find out about us, man. They're talking all this usual suspect stuff, but you're getting ready to find out that no, we actually want to live in a world more righteous than you people do. We live by righteous laws. We're not gonna eye up your wife, man. Now, in the past, have men that are Hebrew Israelites maybe did that? Maybe. But as it stands right now, if we see a woman that we think would be attractive from far, and then we end up realizing that she's got a man, we'll look away. We'll turn ourselves away from that, man. We ain't down for adultery. Right? We're against that. But most of the people in this world that live according to Esau's way, they're trying to become some woman's work husband in the hopes of being able to sleep with her. That's what they're doing. That's what you people are doing that call yourself Christians, by the way. And then you people always talk all that, oh, another doctor, another engineer. These same actual real doctors and engineers will be down for adultery, man. These same paramedics, all these different people, they'll be down for adultery, man. These businessmen in a suit and tie, they'll be down for adultery. You think that they'll care about sleeping with your wife? They won't care. They won't care. They won't think twice. But would an Israelite do that? No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't, man. Especially not the Israelites that I would listen to and think are talking the truth anyway. Great Millstone. I don't think they will do that. But let's carry on. Verse 16. And that they be the children of the Most High, which we are, which you people don't want to believe that we are, but we are though. And they be the children of the Most High and most mighty, live in power, who have ordained the kingdom both unto us and to our progenitors in the most excellent manner, which this was talking about the Persians, because at that time, Yahweh gave them the kingdom, but they're not going to have the everlasting kingdom, though we are. So he did give the Persians the kingdom for the time, but then it's going to become ours. And once we get the kingdom for this last and final time, we're never getting it taken away from us, man. Like it says in Daniel chapter 2 and verse 44, the kingdom of heaven is going to break in pieces and consume all the other kingdoms. All the other kingdoms, anything that they thought that, no, we're going to consume that and it's going to become a part of our thing. And it's going to become completely changed over towards the ways of the laws of Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Right? And I just wanted to do a video on this. There's plenty of other, and you know what, I might go into this part as well, man, because the reason what's going to be the biggest shock that we are actually going to be in charge of this world is because of this whole thing about us being the usual suspects, man. And 1 second. I'm going to need to try and do this bit, go over this bit quickly because the battery's going. But the shock that these people are going to experience with us being in charge is going to come so, it's going to be such a big shock to these people because we are the ones that are considered the usual criminal, the usual suspects, right? So when they actually see us getting saved in the most righteous and like crazy of ways, right, that they never expected to ever see once in their life, it's going to be a shock to them, right? They're not going to, like, these people can't possibly believe, like, I saw the video that's went out there of the AI Atlas, the AI Atlas 3 or something like that, a big spacecraft, and they've zoomed in onto it and looked and seen what they can see, and it looks to me like a light-skinned so-called black man with an afro that looks, and it looks like a creature that's got a so-called black man's face. It's got some kind of horns coming out of his head. It looks like it's either sitting on a horse or got a horse's body, right? And that's the kind of things that are in the heavenly realm, but you people don't understand that. You people could not even conceive that these kind of things have been real. When was the last time that anybody ever seen anything that they didn't know was real? Because you people right now in this world, it's become normal to speak to AI. And some of you people use AI that actually speaks back to you, right? But did that exist before? Did people even know that that could exist 50 years ago? No, they didn't. But it exists now. And it's become normalized. AI pictures, AI videos, right? Where it looks real. But that did not exist before. That literally did not exist before, man. But now it exists. Just like how, but here's the thing. The angels of Yahweh, right, existed before that AI that you people are into now. It's just you haven't seen them. The UFOs, the chariots existed before Moses existed. But it's just that people have not seen them. So the greatest technology was made in the beginning. It's just that humans are trying to come up with, Esau in particular, he's coming up with his little whack way to try and emulate and copy these things. But it's not even a fraction of the power. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 and verse 1, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors, because we're just the usual suspects, right? So we don't need to, okay, a few of them have did a few things, but it's not anything relevant. They're just all criminals. They're the usual suspects. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for, because how could the usual suspects be receiving this great salvation? Why are they? They're just criminals. They're just all criminals. They're the usual suspects, a usual 13%. The 13% people, 13% basketball people doing basketball people things. Diversity is our greatest friend, blah, 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 whatever you want to say. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, calling them usual suspects, saying this amount of people are this amount of this, but they do this amount of crimes. And a proverb of reproach, basketball people, usual 13%, they eat watermelon and fried chicken. Mate, you devils like watermelon, you devils like fried chicken. If I go past the KFC right now, I'm going to see so-called white people in there. Guaranteed. I guarantee that. Yet somehow we've been made to be the only ones that like fried chicken though, innit? Somehow we're the only ones that like fried chicken. Yet they're the ones that make the fried chicken company though, innit? Yeah, right, man. Yeah, right. They'll say they'll literally say anything to try and smear our name. Now we can't even like chicken that tastes nice, or we can't like watermelon when it tastes nice sometimes. Now we're a joke for liking fruit that Yahweh made it. But then they ain't mocked for eating pork though. But then they're so supposedly Christian though, and it's this world a joke. Verse 4, we falls account of this life madness, and his end to be without honor. Or if they was in power, there'd be nothing. And that's why you got these devils making these AI videos trying to mock so-called roadmen. I silence an apartment, you know, trying to do all these dumb videos like, oh, these people could never rule. Mate, there'd be a better, even them 2/3, some of them would be more righteous with certain things than you devils are right now. Some of them would be, or they'd be just as wicked. So what are you talking about, man? But some of them would do some certain things more righteous than you. Verse 6, in fact, verse 5, how is he numbered among the children of God? How is this user 13%? Actually, an Israelite, how can this be? Because we thought there was just a usual suspects, a user 13%. We thought they were just black and that they were swinging on trees in Africa. Obviously, it can't be true that they were swinging on trees in Africa because that's not even their homeland. Their homeland's Israel. The place that we was thinking that these stupid idiots with these dumb small hats on their head. His hat size should actually be an extra large, but for some reason he's got an XXXXXL. Right? A XXXXX extra small. T codes on his head. What's the meaning of this? We thought that those people that are doing a metazit zabepe were the people of the Lord. The people that are secretly eating pork, calling it white steak or calling it kazil. We thought they were the children of the Lord. We thought these people that were so obsessed with October, not the 5th, not the 6th, but the one that comes after that, just before the 8th. The people that were so obsessed with calendar months of October that are trying to ask people to denounce October, this and October that, right? Just so obsessed with October. We thought they were the people. We thought that these talentless fools were the people. But obviously we was wrong because it was these people that we've been calling the user 13% black basketball people that we was accusing of just being nothing but people that eat watermelon, be a baby daddy, right? And are just criminals, yeah. But obviously that we was wrong because they're getting beaten up in these heavenly vessels in that we're seeing in the sky, and nobody else but them's getting taken up there. Only Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and any Israelite that's scattered, that would also naturally go back to those same people. Only they're getting taken up, and everyone else is staying down here, getting destroyed. And I want to say this as well: we ain't leaving none of your countries, right, until Yahweh takes us up out of there, man, in them chariots. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be scattered in every single nation as a punishment. You people are acting like we're scattered in your nation because we want to be there. We want to be in our own country, but our own country is not where you think. And we want to be there with it being righteous, not where you can try and have us in one spot to try and start shooting off ICBMs at us and get rid of us. Because if best believe that if every single Israelite was in one country and it could be proven for a fact, all these nations would just shoot ICBMs over there. And then Yahweh would have to save us from those anyway, still with the chariots. But that would be what they'd be able to try and do. Or they'd just be able to fly over there every single day, spraying poison over there, man. But Yahweh had his way and his method of getting it going, man. Verse 6, therefore have we erred from the way of truth. They didn't know what was really going on. And the light of righteousness shine not unto us. The way that they lived is not righteous. And the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We weird ourselves in the way of wickedness, blaming these people, calling them the usual suspects, trying to go every single route and way to try and make a better society apart from the laws of God. And weird ourselves in the way of it. Part of the weirding of themselves in the way of it can be spoken of in the prophecy in Isaiah 47, man. They weird themselves in the way of wickedness. Went to the stargazers, astrologers, monthly prognosticators, trying every single wicked way to try and get a better society, and it never worked ultimately. Because best believe Esau is going to be the main one saying all of these things. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. And they're going to know that along with everybody else of all the other nations. They're going to know that the people that was getting accused of being the worst were the best. And that just shows that Yahweh tricked your ass, man. He tricked you all. Right? The skin tone of it, the darkest skin tone, right? That this world treats as though it's the ugliest is actually the best. That's the thing. And when people see Yahweh Shai, they're gonna know that the image that was viewed with the most hatred on this earth is actually the best. And that's how you know that Yahweh Bar Shem Yahweh Shai is truly humble, because he allowed for the most perfect way to be mocked on this earth, when it's actually the best way. Because if it weren't the best way, his son wouldn't look like that. Now that ain't no reason to get sour in the kingdom if you ain't the darkest Israelite, because you're still going to be the image of perfection anyway, because you're an Israelite in general. But Yahweh Shai is the top of the top of the top of the tops, minus only Yahweh. And Yahweh Shai is what looks like what Yahweh looks like. He's the image of the invisible God. Right? Let's carry on. And that's Colossians chapter 1 and verse 15, I think that I just quoted there. But let me carry on. Verse 8, what have pride profited us, and how all my days haven't you heathen showed pride? The way how you people have run your mouth, if you actually could see even the first minute of the kingdom, what it's going to be like for you all, and could get to see, like some of you people, right, are going to be in that first years of that kingdom. Some of you are going to have to be reincarnated into the kingdom as slaves, but some of you are going to witness it. Some of you people that are alive right now are going to witness that first few minutes of that kingdom, man. If you even got to see what it's going to be like that first few minutes when you've been in power as you are now, but now you're not going to be in power ever again. And the look, if you was actually able to just see and witness what the look of dread on your eyes was going to be, you would give up right now with everything that you're doing. If you was able to actually see and witness what it's going to be like, man. If you was actually able to witness the kind of things that you're going to getting ready to experience in the kingdom of heaven, you would give up right now. Right? You would be like, you know what? There's no point even bothering to try this. Right? You'd be like, you know, what's the point? What's the point? Oh, let's fight Yahweh Shai. Okay. But look at what you're about to get ready to experience. Man, what's the point? I give up. No, you're not going to give up. You're still going to fight him. And you're going to get destroyed and go through exactly those same things that you thought you was going to witness, man. If you was even able to even witness and experience and see the kind of things that you're going to go through, you would give up right now. Right? Verse 9, all those things have passed away like a shadow, and as a post that hasted by, all that pride, Starbucks, Taco Bell, Jolly Rancher, flipping turkey Twizzlers, red Twizzler licorice, right? KFC, Burger King, Walmart, right? Subway sandwich, ranch, yeah? Let's throw that. I don't even know what ranch is, man, but I hear one of the elders say ranch. I think it's like some salty, vinegary kind of white sauce kind of thing, innit? Ranch dressing, man. Even that, y'all ain't gonna have that neither. But you're gonna go from experiencing all that life, talking, oh, you're never gonna doing all these TikToks and all that, TikTok dances and that, all this stupid stuff you people do, going surfing, snowboarding down mountains, being able to just go everywhere, put a damn small miniature camera on an ant and watch how it lives life. And then all the other ants are wondering what the hell that big ass camera, because it will look big to the ants, right? They were wondering how the hell their ant that came out from their ant's nest came back with a big ass camera on his back, just looking at him sideways. And he's just got a big camera on him now. Just imagine doing that to a human. The human goes out of the house and then comes back and they got a camcorder on their face. You'd be like, what the hell are you doing, man? But that's how Esau does it though, isn't it? Just watching everything all the time and spying everywhere. Just spying on everyone, man. You're going to go from being able to do all that and have the arrogance because of being able to do all that, having the arrogance to say we can make God as angry as we want to make him and he can't do anything anymore, having the arrogance to say a statement like that, to realizing that his son is right here, he's literally right on the earth right now. He's proven that he exists. He's right on the earth. And if he's talk reckless like that now, he might come and see you. You're going to go, you know how much dread you're going to have? Because some of you people have spoke, some of you elites have spoke blasphemous words about Yahweh Shai, right? But when you see him, how comes the thought process is not going to be, okay, you finally decided to show yourself, you coward. I'm ready for you, come then. That's not the thought process they're going to have. The thought process is going to be the shook, prang, scared to death, terrified, frightened. There's not going to be, aha, I set you in my trap. Okay, activate the laser beams. Let's take him out. He fell for our trap. No, the thought process when they see Yahweh Shai's existence and it's proven is going to be terror and dread, right? Revelation chapter 6 and verse 15. In fact, verse 14. In fact, verse 13. And the stars of the heaven fell onto the earth, even as the fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. That's Esau's power that he's going to use, the ICBMs. That's what those fig trees and those stars from heaven are going to look like. Them ICBMs dropping to the sky are going to look like stars dropping from heaven, right? And it's going to shake the earth. It's going to look like untimely figs, all these different bombs dropping down. Pew, pew. Fire filling the earth, man. This is going to be a catalyst that brings Yahweh Shai to the earth, right? But when he shows himself and it's now proven that he exists, the thought process of these heathen is not going to be, okay, now we know he exists, let's get him. It's going to be, let's hide ourselves. They're going to hide, right? They're not going to be like, okay, now this God that I hated and his son that I also hated and these Israelites that I hated, now I can see him, so now I can kill him like I've always wanted to. That's not what they're going to be thinking. They're going to be scared, man. He says they're going to be scared to fight him, but they're going to still try. But the elites that were the main brain behind the operation, they're going to be hiding. Verse 14, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, all these elites, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, all these military men that are in charge, the higher ups, right? And the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, all of a certain high level that have got access to these bunkers. They're going to be hiding themselves, man, underground, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us. And they're going to be pressing them buttons, man. Beep, beep, beep. Quick, we need to hide underground. They're going to be terrified, man. And hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. Hide us from Yahweh. Hide us from Yahweh Shai. Right? For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand there? Not going to be like, yo, where's Yahweh Shai at, man? Yo, come then. Yo, you think I'm playing? They're not going to be like, yo, come then, and come out with 2 AKs. Rah, 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 rah. No, they're going to be hiding. Right? The same wrath that they have to the children of Israel, where they're going to come in like a great flood. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, for the devil is come down having great wrath, because after they have a short time, that same wrath that they're going to have towards us, the children of Israel, because they know that we're in a weakened position, that kind of mentality is going to erase real quick when it's Yahweh Shai, though. That's going to be evaporated once it's Yahweh Shai that they have to try and show that to. They ain't going to dare. That same ego and pride is going to evaporate when it's Yahweh Shai. Because they're going to be able to witness. Like Esau, you have to understand this about Esau. He's a coward, man. They're actually cowards. And that's why when the battle kind of looks like it might be a difficult one to fight, they're not on it. When you had this whole Russia and Ukraine thing when it was first kicking off, they weren't down for that, man. Right? You had people pretending that they were going up to certain embassies and that, yo, I'd like to fight for the Ukrainian army and them thing there, like whatever it's called. What are you on about, bro? That was completely staged. The whole thing was dumb. But most of these people wasn't on it. They wasn't down there because they know that the Russians don't play like that. So if they're scared to fight against Russia, how much more Yahushua, who had the patience to wait 2,000 years to kick your ass because he knew that when he comes to kick your ass, it's going to be easy work. Like, you people don't actually understand what you've did. The usual suspects thing is the least of your worries, man. But the reason why, which I'm going back to, the reason why our salvation is going to be such a great shock to these people is because they just believe that we're criminals. Or they're just the usual suspects. But we're going to see, man. Right? Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 and verse 14. For the hope of the ungodly is like the dust. For the hope of the ungodly is like dust that is blown away with the wind, like a thin froth that is driven away with the storm. Like as the smoke which is dispersed here and there with a tempest that passeth as the way, as the remembrance of a guest that tarrieth but a day. But the righteous live forevermore. Their reward also is with the Lord, and the care of them is with the Most High, and that's us. Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand, which the Lord is Yahushua. For with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his right arm shall he protect them. And who is his right arm? His right arm is Yahushua. And you people on this earth are getting ready to see that, man. He shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies. Yahushua is going to be the top of all of that. But the Israelites, the rest of the Israelites are going to get a chance on that too, man. And I just wanted to do a video on this usual suspects thing, because when I hear you people say it, it gets on my nerves. But when I had to forget all that and really review the actual term, and we are the usual suspects. But what does a usual suspect mean? It means the person that's usually suspected of doing some wrongdoing. But that doesn't mean that that's the person that's doing the wrong all the time, though. It's you Edomites doing it, man. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.